Assalamu alaikum students. I'm Dr. Shamsa Kamal and I will be teaching you a course of MS Analytical Chemistry. The code of the course is Chem6111 and the course title is Bioanalytical Chemistry. I know you all of you are students of are with the background of analytical chemistry to some extent, so it won't be, I hope so, that it won't be difficult to understand the basic terminologies of various analytical instruments, techniques or methods. In past maybe you have read about analytical chemistry or few of the basic analysis like titration, standardization, or maybe you may have read about gravimetry or a few other like absorption spectroscopy or flame photometry, etc, etc. But in the modern age, analytical chemistry, it is basically used for diagnostics. It comes under the name of bioanalysis. You are all aware of the COVID-19 situation throughout the world, and many of the high level or technologically advanced laboratories, they are working on the diagnosis of COVID-19 strains, or so that its initial onset in the humans, it could be diagnosed. All these approaches are taking advantage of by analytical chemistry. Actually, it's a huge economical market as well. Many of the industries, either they are linked with the diagnosis or not, they are jumping into this diagnostic field because it is $1 or $1 billion market. So keeping in view the importance of this drug analysis or biological sample analysis or the diagnostic protocols, we will learn about a couple of things in our 4-month semester length, and the course outline for this whole semester will be as such. We will learn how samples are prepared, how the biological samples are prepared, which make them suitable for analysis later on. What are different types of common solvents and biological buffers which introduce beneficiary element to the diagnostic protocols, to the derivatization of diagnostic protocols, or in improving the detection limits of any of the diagnostic method. Different spectroscopic methods for matrix characterization, they will be discussed, and the quantitation of enzymes and their substrates will be formulated, and there are multiple other methods and topics we will be covering during the whole series of lectures in this 4 months time. These are the recommended books. You may also take help from other literature online. From YouTube you can see a few basic techniques, and after that you will be very comfortable with learning the basic themes of bioanalysis. The basic thing in bioanalytical chemistry is about that is the very basic thing, the sample preparation techniques for biological matrices. You may have prepared the samples for analysis in labs. Maybe you may have prepared the sample of chromium or manganese, for the analysis of manganese as KMnO4. For that you have a very clear or pure sample. Pure in the sense that KMnO4, it only has three components: K, potassium, manganese, and oxygen. So the chances to detect magnesium in that whole palette of KMnO4 are very high. You don't need to purify it for a lot to get the pure peaks for manganese. So it's very easy in elemental analysis, but with the pure samples again. But when you have complex sample or sample is impure, actually analysis is for the impure samples. Sometimes, let's say, you need to determine the amount of copper in kids twice. You need to measure the amount of copper, or let's say mercury, or let's say any of other heavy atom like iron. So twice is quite a complex mixture, and first you need to wash out its paint, then you need to dissolve it in any of the acid. It's again you are making it complex mixture after addition of nitric acid, but you have no choice, and through various steps you need to prepare a sample to dilute it. You will dilute it, you will wash it, and many other things, so that the sample will be prepared. This was the sample preparation in elemental analysis, or in terms of compounds, chemical moieties. But when we talk about the bioanalysis, we need to carefully prepare or carefully manage this initial sample preparation step, because we have to deal with the biological samples as such. We should not contaminate the sample. We should not change the origin or change the chemical composition of any of the biomolecule for which we want to run the analysis. So for bioanalysis, sample preparation should be handled extremely carefully, I will say. Let's say, what are the common challenges they occur in biological sample analysis, and due to which we need to carefully monitor the sample preparation step. This is the first challenge. Let's say example 1, there is the salt buildup in LCMS ion source from unextracted salts. This is this is one of the example of instrument contamination in LCMS ion source, where if impure sample, even the biological sample, impure sample, it creates, if there is some amount of unextracted salts left there, then these salts will be gradually built up or pile up in the interior of the instruments, and will of course affect the final analysis or final diagnosis. Next example is again the same thing, GC inlet liner. You see GC inlet liner and inlet seal, they are contaminated with biological samples because the samples were quite impure or concentrated. Another challenge for the biological sample is mainly the logistics and handling. Traditional blood collection, आप जाते हैं, let's suppose in any of the healthcare laboratory to get checked with any of the disease. Let's say for thyroid, TSH, ठीक है, थायराइड को किसी को इशू हो तो वो थायराइड स्टिमुलेटिंग हार्मोन का टेस्ट होगा, उसके लिए ब्लड इनटेक होगा, ब्लड लिया जाएगा. So all these processes, these should be handled very carefully. If there is contamination at the initial stages, your sample result, the result of the whole diagnosis, it can be changed. So the sample can be taken from the humans, from the animals, and they can be shaped. If you perhaps, let's suppose for very expensive tests, let's suppose for some of the strains of the cancers, maybe in the Himya Khan tests cannot be complete, like diagnosis kits may be not available. So the blood, it will be carried to maybe Karachi or maybe Lahore to Aga Khan or maybe Shokat Khanam, and it will be checked there. So the whole this all takes a lot, and if blood, it is not kept at optimum temperature, it's the whole composition, it may be changed, and maybe the concentration of the that antibody which was causing cancer, for which we are going to diagnose that particular antibody, maybe it will increase or maybe it can be decreased. So all these things should be kept in mind before preparing or going for the sample preparation.